Back in the day, the platformer was the go-to genre, and by back in the day, I mean a time when I wasn't alive. That's not a world worth living in, so let's fast forward a couple of decades, and platformers are still very common and being used as marketing tools for various licenses. But they're also taking on impressive creative forms through small teams and indie developers. Dustforce is one such game, developed and published by Hitbox Team, and even challenges the norms of its own genre, creating a fantastic experience in the process. That is, if you're up to it. Dustforce, first off, is incredibly beautiful in all aspects. In terms of presentation, the basic lack of a concrete story isn't a hindrance, instead a loose thread is presented. Cleanup is needed in various areas, and 4 very different yet uniformly acrobatic janitors show up to do their jobs. Somehow, that results in an incredibly stylized and difficult platformer. Dustforce's aesthetic is incredible, and the environments encountered, from the lush forest to the gothic mansion, create a tangible, investing atmosphere to complement the character designs, animations, and gameplay. Music acts in the same way, calming the player with its tranquil, zen-like tones after an incredibly frustrating attempt at a high score. Dustforce's gameplay seems to be just as stylized as its presentation. This is a fast-paced platformer, one that requires split-second timing and quick-paced finesse, and high scores. Scoring is the key to progressing, and is actually determined by completion time and finesse, as well as efficient elimination of the filth. The filth, the central element of the gameplay really, is everywhere and takes on different forms. In the forest, it's just a bunch of leaves, but in the mansion, it's a gross bubbly substance of some kind. Creatures and denizens of these worlds have been taken over by the filth, and these of course make up the enemies of the game. Some levels feature more enemies in combat challenge than others, while some employ brutal platforming challenges. Luckily, the 4 janitors, while all employing the same moves, have different stats, for lack of a better word. However, these differences aren't immediately apparent, and that's one of Dustforce's few faults. Ultimately, Dustforce is incredibly challenging due to moment-to-moment gameplay and overall structure. Progress through the game is limited by scores on levels, which yield keys that can open other levels in the overworlds of each thematic area. Getting to these levels can be a challenge in of itself, and it gets fairly frustrating to be unable to progress despite completing all the levels up to a certain point. The game also features local multiplayer and level editor modes, but they really just feel a little too tacked on and unnecessary when compared to the single player game. Granted, that may be because the modes were added after the initial release. But if you're looking for a quick and fun game to play through, Dustforce probably isn't it. Unless you're better than me at video games, then that's very possible. However, playing levels over and over in order to achieve a high score and just see the game through to completion isn't really my deal, but if that sounds good to you, Dustforce is a technically fantastic, beautiful, and fun platformer. You'll also see janitors in a whole new light.